So here we go again at the start of a brand new Super League season. The start gets underway, always the juices are flowing. Tonight we're at the home of the champions, the Leeds Rhinos, for their first match of 2009 against the newest team in the competition. No team from Wales has ever played at this level before. The Crusaders are in town for a match, coming to you live and in high definition on Sky Sports right now. That's channel 409, and that's the scene inside the Leeds dressing room with their brand new jerseys. And, well, the Crusaders, traditionally and I suppose to be expectedly, they are playing in the bright red of Wales tonight. Here is the Leeds Rhinos team. They've got Lee Smith operating at full-back, where he won the Man of the Match award, of course, at Old Trafford in last year's grand final. Then they go Donald, the young and exciting Callum Watkins, the evergreen Keith Senior and Ryan Hall, Kevin Sinfield's the standoff and captain alongside Danny Maguire, no Rob Burrow. Kylie Luluwai, Matt Diskin, Jamie Peacock in the front row, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Ali Lauatiti and Carl Ablett, the forward pack, and on the bench it's Ian Kirk, Luke Burgess, Danny Allen and Paul McShane, and the coach is Brian McLennan. Now the Crusaders, Duggan at full-back, Dyer, Hannay, Delacourt and Blackwood, Matty Smith on a season-long loan from St Helens, and Jace Van Dijk, who's the skipper. The forwards, O'Hara, Budworth and Bryant, Peake, Mapp and Lupton coming into the side because Marshall Chalk has got the flu. And on the bench, it's Quinn, Flower, James and Beasley, and the coach is John Dixon. The Crusaders have a minimum of 3 years to grow in Super League and match the achievement of the Catalan Dragons, and if they manage to do that, Super League really will have spread its wings. They are the first team to play in the elite division of Rugby League. Merthyr Tydfil, Ebbw Aberdare, Barry, Mid-Rhondda, Treherbert, Pontypridd, Cardiff, the Blue Dragons, Bridgend and South Wales have all tried before. But tonight, it's the night of the Crusaders as they arrive here at the home of the champions. What a daunting task. It's the 14th Super League season, 14 teams are competing, but who can deny this Leeds Rhinos team an historic 3 Super League titles in a row come October the 10th at Old Trafford. They beat St Helens 24-16 there to retain the Super League crown. Last October, they turned round a 38 points to 10 playoff defeat at St Helens in the space of 2 weeks. Out they come in their new-look strip, led by the familiar face of Kevin Sinfield, the only Leeds captain to lift 3 championship trophies in the history of this club. And as always, the Leeds fans are here in numbers to begin a brand new season. The match brought forward to tonight because Jamie Peacock and company will be tangling with Manly of Australia in the World Club Challenge on March the 1st. And that night, Steve-O, is bound to play a part in Brian McLennan and his team's thinking as they approach this match against the Crusaders.
It's going to be very difficult for them, and although Brian McLennan has made it quite clear that he's emphasised the fact that they have to get off to a resounding win tonight against the new team, it will be very difficult for them if they can get the ball out wide. The one thing that the Crusaders have to do is make sure that they get through their sets of 6. They've got to make sure the error count is exceptionally low and their defence has to be solid throughout.
We're underway in 2009. Kevin Sinfield with a kick-off, and oh, what a start for the Crusaders. The ball trickling its way. Bryant couldn't get to it. Trickling its way over the dead ball line. Luke Dyer left it. They all left it.
Well, no one's
a goal line dropout.
No one seemed to want to shout for each other. We knew that they were going to be nervous, but this is really applying the pressure on themselves.
Eddie, I don't know why they didn't have Jace Van Dijk, probably the most skillful handler, in a deep catching position instead of on the 10-metre line, putting pressure on his opponents who I don't think quite have the skills to take those kick-offs.
This is Ali Lauatiti. The opening set of 6 then going Leeds' way because of it was a great kick-off by Kevin Sinfield. He saw the acres of space, and the Celtic Crusaders, they just weren't up to it, frankly. And this is a huge set of 6 for Leeds, and a huge set of 6 for the Crusaders as Maguire gets the ball away to Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and Lee Smith is grounded in the tackle. That's tackle number 4. Maguire will come the short side and find Senior, and Senior is held up by 3 defenders. That's the last tackle. Keith Senior, who's announced his retirement from International Rugby League now. He wants to concentrate on his club career, and a mistake. And here is a chance as the Crusaders are in possession here with Lupton.
They picked it up very cleanly and very quick indeed. Fair play to the Crusaders. They applied the pressure. It was good work there by Adam Peake. Lupton made ground upfield. They've got to make sure they get through the 6, get themselves into a good kicking position and try to apply the pressure and force the error like we've just seen.
So Crusaders with ball in hand for the first time. Budworth gets the ball on the inside, and that's Ryan O'Hara who felt the full weight of that tackle there from Kylie Luluai. Now it's Adam Peake, and Peake is surrounded by 3, but the Crusaders have made good progress. They're about 23, 24 metres away from the Leeds Rhinos. Budworth gets the ball moving, and here is Lupton.
The one thing the Crusaders do very, very well, their coach John Dixon has them interchanging the inside pass at the dummy half. Oh, they weren't expecting that, but he's made good ground and he's come up with a bad error.
He did. It was Ryan O'Hara.
Well, it looked for a moment as though the prop forward O'Hara didn't realise that he was going to be the receiver, and when he did, there was a huge gap opened up. Oh, is that for me? Well, Leeds defence, a little bit shabby there at the moment.
This is Lee Smith again for the Rhinos. That was Matt Diskin, who's under enormous pressure this year. Here is the exciting Callum Watkins. Mentioned Matt Diskin, the hooker tonight, wearing 14. He has lost his number 9 jersey to Danny Medeiros, who is not yet fit enough to play in this Leeds side. And as well as Medeiros, they've got Paul McShane, who's an outstanding youngster who is making his debut for the club tonight off the bench, and they have high hopes of him as well. So Diskin, who was just to play the ball there, he is feeling the heat of those behind him. It's a towering kick, that from Maguire. It's well claimed by Luke Dyer.
Good work on that occasion by Josh Hannay. You can see the centre, he just gave him a little bit of a shield so that Dyer could get it, but it's they've upped the tempo in defence now of Leeds.
Budworth again, that was Jace Van Dijk, and Blackwood is the man who spins away from the tackle, but then he's collared by 3. John Dixon, the coach of the Crusaders, watching on. It's a remarkable story because February 2006, the Crusaders were born. They played their first game in the Northern Rail Cup against Hemel Hempstead, and tonight, here they are 3 years down the track, and they are taking on the World Club champions. What a rags to riches story it has been in South Wales. Good dip downfield then from Matty Smith, one of the familiar faces to Super League viewers in this Crusaders side on a year-long loan from St Helens. This is Jamie Jones-Buchanan, cuts inside a couple, gets the ball away to Lee Smith again. Diskin to Maguire. Maguire is hounded by Jace Van Dijk and also by Darren Matt. That was Diskin again. Here is Jamie Peacock, who was bitterly disappointed with England's showing, as indeed so many of us were in Australia last year. Wants to put the record straight on March the 1st against Manly, as the ball is fed out wide and forward, surely, by Lautiti.
That'll be play on.
Picked up, it is, and that ball seemed to drift forward. Maybe it took a nudge forward off the back of a player. Anyway, Leeds aren't hanging around.
Forward pass, well spotted there by Ben Thaler. Well, there's the coach, Brian McLennan, and he's made it quite clear that they want to do that short, flat ball. Interference there was Darren Matt that got a finger to it in the end, and that's a poor pass from the skipper, Kevin Sinfield.
Eddie, really nice variety from Leeds in attack, and mentally as well as physically that will drain the Crusaders. Even in the first 5 minutes, the variety of options, whether they're taking the ball forward in the centre of the field, shifting to the left or the right, really nice opening there. They've posed many questions at the Crusaders defenders.
No, I'm okay, too late.
Nearly 6 minutes gone, it's 0-0. Yestin Harris, how do you think the Crusaders are faring, and how are they travelling in the early parts of their Super League campaign?
Well, I think Leeds are dominating the territorial battle at the moment, and The Celtic Crusaders have had 3 sets now. They've not completed one. They've just dropped another ball there. And on the set they did complete, Leeds brought it back to the halfway line. So at the moment, Leeds are dominating things, and it's looking like it's going to be a long night.
Chase Van Dijk with the mistake, the Crusaders captain.
Hold the line for the 10.
And by the way, we mentioned Australia and the World Cup, and of course our pictures and our broadcast now going live to Australia for the first time, live via the pictures of Sky Sports on the Channel 9 network. A very good morning to you down under, and welcome to the wintry wastes of the UK.
Go.
This is Super League 14, the opening match of 2009. It's Leeds Rhinos in possession with the England captain Jamie Peacock. And waiting behind him at dummy half is Matt Diskin. Diskin then gets the ball away to Ali Lautiti. Lautiti is grounded.
This is where Leeds will be looking to try to get the link.
Diskin gets the ball away to Sinfield. He stands in one tackle. He was almost across. A metre and a half short of the line. Diskin again gets it away to Maguire. Maguire through the line, and good defence from the Celtic Crusaders. Josh Hannay was in there. They bring him down. Senior then to Sinfield. He'll hoist the kick wide, looking for the runners, and it bounces off Scott Donald. It bounces dead, and it's a tap on the 20-metre line.
Well, good defence by the Crusaders. It had to be as well. It was a superb kick, wasn't it? Put under a lot of pressure. You could see the winger had no chance, Anthony Blackwood.
Go, well done.
And they were very lucky to get away with that.
And the all rugby teams make mistakes, but the better sides can recover from a mistake quicker than the others. The Crusaders made the massive error from the kick-off by allowing the ball to go over the dead ball line and haven't recovered yet. We've seen the handling errors that Yestin's mentioned. They haven't completed a set, kicked the ball downfield and be able to apply any pressure to the Rhinos. Can they recover here now, 8 minutes in?
Van Dijk, good ball on the inside. Well watched, though, all the way by Jamie Peacock. It was a run from Tony Duggan. And now here's a drive in from Mark Bryant.
Well, that's a sort of ploy that we expect from John Dixon. He did it all last season. And it was very well executed in the end. Now then, can they get a good kick and chase here? Is it a touch too long? Yeah.
Just a touch too long from Matty Smith. Matty Smith, who is being allowed by St Helens to continue his development with this year-long loan arrangement with the Celtic Crusaders. They also have Stephen Tyra in their ranks to the team from Bridgend, but Tyra not playing tonight, might be featuring next weekend in the Valentine's night battle with the other new boys to Super League, the Salford City Reds. That's next Saturday night at 7:30.
4. Hold the line. Hold. Go.
Here now is Peacock. Gets the ball out the back door. It's swooped on by Kylie Luluwai. Leeds are making the errors, but the players are there in numbers to cover those errors.
Go. 5 last.
Here now is Maguire and Senior. Little dummy from Senior. Great support here from Jamie Jones. First try for Lee Smith. First try of 2009 for the champions. And Lee Smith. He won the Man of the Match award in last year's Old Trafford Grand Final, did Lee Smith, also playing at fullback. Notice he's wearing 3 this year. They see him as the natural replacement for Clinton Tupy. And Lee Smith, the man who scored a hat-trick against Papua New Guinea in Townsville on his full England debut in the World Cup, and almost disappeared from the scene, but he's back on the scene here in Super League. Opening try of the campaign, Lee Smith and the Rhinos.
Very good work by the Rhinos, built up there. Good dummy by Keith Senior. It had the inside pass to Jones Buchanan. And Lee Smith finishing off where, after a magnificent grand final last year, that's good support play. Back on the inside. Nice to see the finer touch from the centre, Keith Senior.
Well, he scored 2 tries on the opening night in similar circumstances to this last year, but against Hull Kingston Rovers. It was a match again that was brought forward, so as Leeds last year could face the Melbourne Storm in the World Club Challenge, this match brought forward so they can play the Manly Sea Eagles at Elland Road on the evening of Sunday, March the 1st. Kevin Sinfield now with the opportunity to add 2 more points to the total, which he doesn't miss. His 4 goals in the grand final, racked up 2,000 personal points in his career for Leeds. The Rhinos ahead 6-0.
They can see two Crusaders that are into the same position, and soon as Senior just did the shimmy back on the inside. That is quality play.
Keep going, guys. Keep going, Pete. Keep going.
And it was an example of the variety that Leeds have when it comes to attacking. That was the last tackle play, and instead of kicking the ball, the vision of Diskin and Maguire recognised the opportunity that was in front of Keith Senior, and the best sides take those opportunities. Great first score there from the Rhinos.
Champions are ahead here by 6 points to 0. Cast your mind back to 1999. That was the last year of a 14-team Super League competition. Gateshead Thunder were the new boys then. And strangely enough, Leeds provided their first night opposition also. They won 24-14. And Justin Harris was the star of the show for the Rhinos. Can you remember that night, Justin? It was a bit chilly like this, wasn't it?
I think it was, and I was a lot slimmer than I think as well. So, no, yeah, I think what's dangerous for the Celtic Crusaders here is that Leeds are at the most dangerous when they start to get offloads and play off the second phase. And at the moment in this game, they're already being allowed to get 5 or 6 offloads already in this game. It's becoming very, very difficult for the Celtic Crusaders to defend that.
I think you'll find, Eddie, that the fitness levels are a little bit low at the moment. We know that half the squad only arrived on Sunday, so it's going to be very difficult for them. The way that Leeds are now turning in the tackle, they're offloading it at will. A few of the Crusaders defenders, some are moving up, others are hanging back. That leaves huge gaps.
That's a nice dink over the top also by Kevin Sinfield. Well dealt with, though, by Tony Duggan. But a great chase from the Rhinos, led by Jamie Peacock.
Go, Marcus, guys, Alex.
And so here now comes Luke Dyer once again for the Crusaders. He played with Castleford and Hull Kingston Rovers. He's got some invaluable Super League experience as that young man. This now is Adam Peake.
3. Keep it going. Well done, Matt. Go.
Jace Van Dijk was on the shoulder. That's a great hit then on Ryan O'Hara.
Go.
It was Diskin leading the way, and this is Bryant now to carry the battle forward. Former Australian Schoolboys International. Not much progress made, that set of 6. Matty Smith with the deep kick downfield. He's just interested in clearing his lines. Lee Smith collects it 5 metres away from his own goal line. Will begin the counter-attack.
It just shows you the difference between the two sides, quite evident already, in as much that the Celtic Crusaders, they found it difficult to get over the advantage line in their one set of 6. Well, it's becoming quite easy for Leeds. Oh, good talent, nice step.
Yes, that's Callum Watkins.
23, come on.
17 years of age, and he got a try in his debut against the Crusaders in the Challenge Cup tie here last year, which Leeds won. The only time that the Crusaders have met the Leeds Rhinos previously. This is Sinfield now, short ball to Luluai.
John Dixon, the Celtic coach, has got to make sure that he gets a message across. They've got to stop Matt Diskin running from dummy half. He's just controlling things out there.
High hanging kick from Sinfield again. Duggan is after this. He claims it. Under pressure he was, though, from Jamie Jones-Buchanan, but Tony Duggan got to it.
2.
And you can see the problems already arising for the Welsh outfit. They were very slow. They've got the ball back, but they're very slow to get back into a position. It was always going to be tough for them, Eddie.
Mark Bryant has hold of the ball for the Crusaders. Plays it there to Budworth. This is Van Dijk, now Smith, another short ball from him.
4, Jamie, square with your marker. Okay, 4, hold it. Come on, go.
And O'Hara was the man who played the ball. This is Duggan.
5.
Good defence from Leeds Rhinos, though. The Crusaders cannot get anywhere near halfway line at the end of their set of 6. So Matty Smith just thumps the ball over the top, and it's collected here by Ryan Hall.
No way. 1.
Quarter of an hour gone. Leeds Rhinos ahead by 6 points to 0 as Senior takes them on again here.
2.
Now let's see how the Crusaders handle the sliding defence. And you saw quite clearly there, some are moving up, others are hanging back. They've got to go as a unit. They've got to try to get into the faces of the Rhinos players.
Ben Flower, wearing 16, has come onto the field. He's a rising young star. He made his debut exactly a year ago in that match I was talking about earlier against the London Scholars. Here now is Callum Watkins. What a pass! What a pass from Watkins, and what strength it was from Scott Donald. Sensational Leeds try. Donald the scorer, but put it down to a fantastic piece of skill from a 17-year-old. Callum Watkins with a wonderful pass, but Donald with the strength to bump and barge his way over the try line. Scott Donald, who got 26 tries in 2008, a career best. His tally is underway here.
You know, the Leeds coach, Brian McLennan, wants to make sure that they don't push and rush this fella, Callum Watkins. But when you come out with talent and a pass like that, he's got to be knocking on the door on a regular selection. And the man outside him, Scott Donald, he'll be thinking to himself, boy, if I can get passes like this throughout the season, he's going to be a good bet for the leading try scorer of Super League 14. That was nothing short of outstanding from the young centre, Callum Watkins. Full credit to Donald, the scorer, but I'm sure it's running around in his brain box and say, boy, give me plenty of those this year.
Wonderful pass, wasn't it? Such skill from a 17-year-old.
I think also we should give a massive amount of credit to Kevin Sinfield. He was the first Leeds player to catch the ball, Eddie, and went straight towards the try line, which engaged the defenders. Too many players in our country run towards the sideline first before they go forwards. Has Sinfield kicked it? Not on this occasion.
No, just went in front of the post, the kick, but it's 10-0 to the Leeds Rhinos.
Sometimes a lack of coordination. You can see Anthony Blackwood have gone in, and when they both go for the young centre, Watkins, there's always going to be an opportunity for this man. He knows the way to the try line. It's a good effort by Tony Duggan to try to upset him.
Callum Watkins, and what a name when you think about Welsh Rugby League, with the great David Watkins, MBE, who also played a lot of his rugby league career in the centres as well. And now Celtic Crusaders have humped the ball out on the full from the kick-off, so it's a penalty on halfway.
I made the point before the kick-off that the only chance for the Crusaders to sort of maybe look towards an upset was to ensure that they went through their sets of 6, that their error count was kept as low as possible. But I'm afraid with the combination of the fact that they're struggling to get over the advantage line, and I think you've got to put that down to perhaps a lack of speed and fitness rather than the fact that the Leeds defence is rushing onto them.
Well, here come the Rhinos again with Ali Lautiti. They're leading 10-0. This season is 18.5 minutes old. And this now is the ever-impressive Luke Burgess from the very impressive Burgess stable of rugby league stars. It's now Ablett. Ablett will get to his feet 11 metres away from the posts. The bang in front of him, Diskin to Peacock. And Peacock with a lot of strength, of course. Takes 3-4 now to hold up the England captain. He'll play it to Diskin. It will come back on the arc to Sinfield, who will find Maguire. Maguire then gives it to Lee Smith. Lee Smith gives it to Senior forward pass.
Great build-up. That would have pleased the coach, Brian McLennan. Good, solid, hard work. Led first of all by Jamie Peacock, and then they got the ball out wide. Not the best from Keith Senior. And again,
just going back to the previous try here, just look at Sinfield. First he goes forward, then before going sideways, he's made all of the red jerseys stand and go back on the heels. It's allowed Ablett some time, and then it allows Watkins to do his magic out wide.
10-0, and approaching the midway point of this first half. It's a scoreline, yes, and I suppose we might have expected, and it could have been worse for Celtic.
It could, yeah, but I think the most important thing so far in this game has been the way that the two teams, the marker system is so different. Matt Diskin has just ruled the roost around there. The markers are going backwards for the Celtic Crusaders and allowing Matt Diskin to pick up, take it out the line and bring his forwards onto it. On the flip side, the Leeds markers have been really aggressive. They're getting away, they're getting out from there and creating pressure on the Celtic Crusaders, which is causing mistakes.
And there's a mistake. Duggan's pass is intercepted by Ryan Hall, and it's an easy 4-pointer for Ryan Hall. And John Dixon will be disappointed with that. And Ryan Hall looked almost embarrassed to score that try. It's his first of the campaign, of course. There might be many more from another of the outstanding youngsters here at Headingley. And Ryan Hall, it was a gift, courtesy of Tony Duggan's attempted pass out wide. And Hall, well, he just had to scamper and get past Matty Smith to the line.
You've got to get through the basics, and I'm afraid you don't try to attempt anything like this when you're deep in your own quarter. It was nothing other than a gift for Ryan Hall. And as Eddie already mentioned, perhaps he felt a little bit embarrassed about it all because he didn't really expect that the full-back, Duggan, would have even attempted it. Had the pace, knew that, no one's going to get anywhere near him. They've got to get through the basics, and that's the one thing that John Dixon has to ensure. He gets inside their brains. You can't afford to be doing things like that so deep within your own quarter.
Well, it's a bit different so far to their debut in Rugby League, full stop. Sinfield adds the extra 2 for the Rhinos, who are now ahead 16 points to 0. 3 years ago, when the Crusaders played the London Scholars, they won 50 points to 10, and they went on to put together a 7-match winning run. 3 players, Duggan, who's just gifted that latest try to Ryan Hall, Quinn, who's on the bench, and Van Dijk, they were all playing in that match.
And it's been a very poor start here to the season for the Celtic side. Conversely, Leeds have looked fantastic. The defence is that dominant that it's forcing these type of errors, allowing Hall to do so well. And this is almost the start of a 23 intensive day competition here now for the Rhinos to become the best side in the world. I think this is one of 3 warm-up games for them in which they want to build to be at their best by the time they play against the Manly Sea Eagles.
It's part of a process that Brian McLennan, he is so grateful to Jason Booth and his ground staff for getting this game on, because it's a 3-match campaign before they play the Manly Sea Eagles in the World Club Challenge, and so important, he says, that they get themselves up to speed and that they play to their full potential at Ellen Road on March the 1st. They won't be happy with that, though.
Well, a little loose arm from Mark Bryant, the prop forward, perhaps nudged it out. Either way, they're going to have their first real opportunity. Now, they've got to try to camp down. The one thing to stop this Leeds outfit from scoring tries is make sure that you have, the opposition that is, possession.
Well, Duggan is an elusive runner. He's looking for 2 tries tonight to register 100 with the Crusaders. And this now is Ben Flower. It's the first real threat on the Leeds Rhinos line that I can remember. This is Budworth. Now it's Jace Van Dijk. Duggan again. And Duggan, well, he's learned the lesson about passing the ball over the top of would-be defenders. He cut inside then, but only took the tackle. That was Josh Hannay at dummy half. Here now is Darren Mapp.
Interesting to see how Jace Van Dijk now will handle this situation. Will he get it to second phase?
Budworth. Van Dijk with a little dab to the in-goal area. Awkward bounce, and Scott Donald to the rescue for Leeds. That's better.
It certainly is. He's their key factor as the half-back and captain, Van Dijk. And it was a neat kick through. That'll please John Dixon.
And that work from Scott Donald will also please Brian McLennan, because he says as much as Scott Donald is brilliant in scoring tries, which he undoubtedly is, he has moved him to right wing this year, and he wants him to play on that right wing to shore up the defence down that right-hand side. He says he's a wonderful reader of the game defensively, although he has obviously caught the eye by his try-scoring exploits the other end.
And it took him a while to really settle into the British style of rugby league, and he certainly made a name for himself over the past 18 months, and as we mentioned earlier, with the ability, as we saw from Callum Watkins, to offload, he'll be looking to score plenty of tries. But Crusaders will be buoyed by this. Watch for the inside pass. They normally look for it.
That's a ball from Jace Van Dijk. It's a great run here from the second row forward, Darren Mapp, and the referee has pinged Leeds for offside, I think. He allowed advantage to go. Or was it a high swinging arm? No, we're not sure. Yeah, I think it was a high shot, an attempted high shot, I think the signal was. And here is an opportunity now for Delacourt. So this is the 3rd consecutive set of 6. Good effort here from Jordan James.
Away!
Leeds having to defend their line. It's a great bit of pressure from Crusaders. This is Matty Smith. Ball then to Adam Peake. And Peake with 3 around him.
Away, guys!
Down he goes.
Line,
Tackle
line,
number 3.
Go!
Budworth, Matty Smith, Van Dijk waits. Van Dijk gives the ball to Duggan.
Oh, great play. Oh, Ryan Hall.
He read that perfectly.
Did he ever?
He now Luke Dyer again.
That's the reason why they won the grand final last year. They were very strong in defence.
Move! Hold it.
But what can the Crusaders do here on this last tackle? Matty Smith, he'll hoist it wide. Looking for the runners out there. They've claimed it in the air. Oh, and the ball then is flung forward. He had to allow it go, Blackwood, because he would have been offside otherwise. And for the Leeds Rhinos, it was Carl Ablett who came to the rescue.
Eddie, the most noticeable improvement from Leeds last year was their defence. Here we see them again, defending a goal line dropout, surviving on their line. It was the best defensive record they've had in the Super League history. They conceded fewer points than in the previous 12 years. And that really, ultimately, was the biggest difference between them and all the other sides in Super League. St Helens, OK, they're up there with them. But if you've got time to spend on the training field, and there is a limited time, then time spent improving your defence pays bigger dividends than that on attack.
Maguire, rounded tackle number 4. The tackle came in from Ben Flower. Here is Peacock again, taking on
5! Hold it here, Pete.
the Crusaders defender.
Go, 5 laps.
Diskin gets the ball away, and the kick from Sinfield is straight into the arms of Duggan, who gives it to Luke Dyer.
Not the best from Sinfield there, but good position by the fullback Duggan.
And wonderful chase forward by the Leeds defence as well. They were straight as a die then, and Luke Burgess was the man who got the tackle in.
Be interesting to see whether the Welsh outfit now can get over the halfway line in this particular set.
But well, they're close to halfway. They're 5 metres inside their own half. Matty Smith goes down the left-hand side. Here is Delacourt. They get over halfway on tackle number 4.
So important, they've got to get into the opposition positional part of the field so they can get away a good kick. Always looking for the inside pass there, not good support.
Got it away eventually though, did
Line, guys.
Matty Smith.
Hold it. Go. 5.
Now this is Van Dijk. Little dab over the top. Maguire is there, and Maguire will try and jink his way out of trouble.
Away, lads.
Smart thinking there, Danny Maguire. Of course, taking the position at scrum half, the absence of Rob Barrow.
2. Away. Go. 3. Up in. Go in, James. Jordan.
I was just about to
conceding the penalty.
I was just about to say, Eddie, that Ben Thaler really has had not much to do in regards to the fact that messing around at the play the ball area. We normally get it at the start of the season. And full credit to the Celtic Crusaders, because they're not messing around at the play the ball area either when they're in defence.
Go.
It's Leeds in possession here with Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Quick play the ball, Diskin gets it away. Ball is flung inside, but maybe he was in touch anyway. And so the referee will bring them back for a scrum.
Pleasing display, isn't it, from the hooker, Matt Diskin. He's in superb form, no doubt about it. Got his foot on the whitewash, and I must say, they're the widest lines I think I've ever seen in rugby league history. They're unbelievably nearly a foot wide.
Out. Well done.
There you see it. The boot is sufficient.
Let's be fair, they've had to make sure that we can see them.
Oh no, I'm not knocking it. It's just that it's rather unusual. It's the same for both sides.
Clear. Go.
Now, can the Crusaders put something together? But it's difficult against this pretty strong defence, and it looks like Delacourt's going. He did well to stay in there. Oh, good hit there by Diskin as well.
From Leeds, isn't it? It really is.
Crusaders here now, just working their way forward. They were a little bit caught in the headlights, weren't they? Rabbits caught in the headlights at the start of this game, made the error from the kick-off, but they're now, I think, growing in confidence. The scoreboard's ticked against them. One of the two of these kicks here going deep into the corner over the dead ball line. But I think now, after 30 minutes into the match, they know what Super League's all about, and they might just settle into this game.
I think you're right, Phil, and John Dixon would have been very worried indeed in the opening 15 minutes, and that'll be play on. It's very cold out there, let's not forget that. The fingers will be pretty numb.
The Crusaders do like to go wide. They're going to test the Leeds Rhinos' defence. Perfect position here now, centre field, Steve, or two options, left or right.
Well, I think they've got to opt for the kick. It's the on two occasions they've created a bit of a problem.
Well, this is a glorious opportunity for them. The ball wide from the fullback, Duggan, and here on the run is O'Hara.
Okay, guys.
He's impressed me, the prop forward O'Hara. Got through a lot of work, not only in attack, but especially in defence.
Jace Van Dijk. And this is a try here for Darren Mapp, but the referee, Ben Thaler, wants the video referee, Richard Silverwood, to take a look at it. Was there any obstruction there, is the question that's being asked.
Well, will it be history in the making? The first try by a Welsh side in Super League history. He delayed the pass well there, did Jace Van Dijk. He tries to get out of the way, I feel. I just got the impression that Danny Maguire tried to make as much of it. Jordan James is the culprit. Now, it depends on the interpretation. We always have this problem at the start of the season. Now, I don't think that Maguire could have got anywhere near, or could he? Will they give the nod to Darren Mapp?
They look at several things here, Steve. Does the option runner continue to run through the line, or does he stop his momentum and impede the defender? It's the number 17 in red here, Jordan James. Does he intentionally collide with Maguire? I think so.
Richard Silverwood agrees. The try is chalked out, and Darren Mapp is disappointed. I mean, the problem, I think, was this, that Jordan James is so far ahead of the play, isn't he?
But he intentionally collides with Maguire. Had he just continued to run on his line, if you watch, look, he checks and steps into him.
Yeah, but watch Maguire deliberately go into him. He doesn't try to avoid him. It's a 50-50 call. Richard Silverwood, the video referee, and bitter disappointment. At least it would have been a huge lift for John Dixon and the Crusaders team. But the mere fact that they've made some sort of break will certainly help.
Well, it's a blow for the Celtic Crusaders. Really is a shame. They thought they were over the line. They were over the line, but it was ruled off by video referee Richard Silverwood. This now is Maguire, and it will be a real shame if, for the Crusaders, that is, if Leeds get over the line here for a try, and it's still on the go.
Pretty adventurous there by Kevin Sinfield. I think they realise that they've got the measure of the opposition at 16-0 just before the half-time break.
Maguire again will hoist the kick out wide. Oh, well claimed by Ryan Hall. Gets the ball away. Over the top it goes, and they are in. Lee Smith gets his second. Well, from the Celtic Crusaders' point of view, Paul McShane was the man with the pass, the final pass to Lee Smith. But from the Crusaders' point of view, that's a real heartbreak. That is a real kick in the teeth. They had a try chalked off at one end, and now Leeds have come up and scored at the other. And that could easily be a 12-point turnaround in the space of just a couple of minutes. But that, I'm afraid, is life in rugby league, and it's certainly life in the Super League.
Certainly is. Of course, they would have not realised that Leeds, very proficient at keeping this ball alive, did well, Ryan Hall to start with, and Paul McShane back on the inside. Lee Smith, try number 2. It's amazing, isn't it? You know, the Crusaders, they have a smell of scoring a try. It gets turned down, and within minutes, Lee Smith continues on with his good form.
Yes, well, he's a man in form, there's no question of that. He just gets the sniff of a try, does Lee Smith, and he's over. And so is the conversion from Kevin Sinfield, flicked off the post, and the Leeds Rhinos are ahead 22 points to 0.
Well, the Crusaders' success this year, Eddie, will depend on how quickly they're able to learn lessons as the year progresses. I think the lesson from that try was you have to get up, contest, and attempt to catch high crossfield kicks. You just allowed it to come down into the arms of Leeds, and too easy then for them to score from that position. When the ball goes up, somebody from your side has to get up and contest the ball.
Okay.
Well, 22-0. It's not what Celtic Crusaders wanted, Justin.
No, it's not. And I think generally in Super League, a lot of games, there's not a lot between the two teams. But what makes one side go in front of the other is the kicking game. I think Leeds Rhinos' kicking game tonight has been absolutely fantastic. I think Celtic Crusaders, they've had spells where they've created some momentum, but then put poor kicks on the end of it. And until they sort that kicking game out, they're not going to compete against the big sides.
Yeah.
Less than 5 minutes to go to half-time. National League champions 2007, second in National League 1 last year. They only just lost the National League Grand Final to Salford after extra time. But this is an undoubted step up in class. And it'll be interesting to see what the Celtic Crusaders and indeed what the Salford City Reds do during the course of 2009. Here is Diskin, tired defence. Right now the Crusaders, bullet pass. Here is Sinfield. It was McShane with the pass again. Oh, they've dropped off the tackle from Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Then they come back in numbers and haul him down.
They're pretty weak out wide if they can get the link going.
Here is Sinfield. Now it's with Smith, who's on a hat-trick. Smith, who's after his hat-trick. Wrestled to the ground just short. Sinfield will dab the kick to the in-goal area, but it's well watched there by Tony Duggan, and Duggan will begin the counter-attack.
Read it well. Good play indeed. Nice little step to get himself there, but again, the ability of this Leeds outfit to get there in numbers. Difficult to get the ball out wide past the first receiver. You'll notice that the Rhinos' defence, they're moving in quickly on the angle. They're only allowing the centre of the pitch for this Celtic side to use any movement forward.
Hold it here, hold.
2.5 to the half-time side, and I think it can't come quickly enough for the Crusaders. That's a good kick, though, from Matty Smith, looking for a 40-20. Ryan Hall saw to it that it wasn't going to be so. And here is Lee Smith again. Chased by Luke Dyer.
Well done. Keep it coming, Dyer.
Maguire.
Keep it coming.
Inventive play from Maguire. Scuttles away, but Smith is the man who brings him down.
You see the difference between the two sides. Quick play of the ball, the ability to run from dummy half, catching the defence out.
8.
Senior. Strength from Keith Senior all over the top of Matty Smith and company. That's Diskin. This is Sinfield again down the line. Donald is chasing this, but the ball will beat everybody.
He'll be happy with that. Nice little backspin on the ball, hoping that Donald could get there first. He'll be happy. Brian McLennan, they've gone through their basics. Their defence has been pretty solid. Only one clean break has been seen against it, and it was more of a surprise when Ryan O'Hara, the prop forward, found himself blinding through.
Great record so far for Brian McLennan after one season as a top-flight club coach. I think he's on the way up to number 28 on the win tally tonight.
Well, I think he's pretty safe about that intuit, as you mentioned, Eddie. And the real impressive thing about Leeds is the fact the way that Matt Diskin is playing. And let's not forget that in a couple of weeks' time, Danny Badouris is going to be coming into this Rhinos outfit. Imagine the two of them interchanging, a la Roby and Cunningham, as we've seen. Great play there by Callum Watkins.
But well played by Delacourt. He managed to retrieve his senses and keep the movement going. This is a A decent run also from Hannay, but Dyer is well watched. Great defence there from McShane and Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Young Paul McShane in the white bootster making his first team debut tonight. This now is Ryan O'Hara. Gets the ball away to Van Dijk. And Van Dijk finds Jordan James. Jordan James pops it up to Matty Smith. They're keeping the ball alive here. Delacourt floats it wide. This is Blackwood. Blackwood hacks it forward. It's a race now. There's the half-time siren. Lee Smith will run the ball over the dead ball line. There'll be no time to restart the match because that was the half-time siren you heard in the background. And Celtic Crusaders know after the opening 40 minutes in front of the South Stand here at Headingley that life in Super League is going to be far from easy. They have conceded 4 tries. Lee Smith has scored 2 of them, Donald has got 1 and Hall has got the other. And the champions, the Leeds Rhinos, are ahead here by 22 points to 0 at half-time.